On my way back home from the meadows, it was chilly today, a little cold. I'm used to the cold, and I told you guys today I would rather that than, so 30, 31, -1, -2 with the damp, cool air. I just don't like that. You can bundle up the cold stuff. The damp stuff, it just seems to go right through your bone marrow. It's really cold. So it was still cold. I think I had 4 or 5 drives or something today. 3 of ours were the most important. They raced well. I think I made a little error with Trosa. I should have removed him to the front. With it being so cold, I'm just always protective of that horse, right? He can bleed really easy, and I just felt that I was in a good spot. I was in a spot where I could out-kick them, and I didn't have to overexert him at the quarter pole, and that was a trainer's mistake that a driver would have probably, if I was in driver mode at that particular moment. That's the hard thing. That's what, and I have to confess that sometimes, you get training the horses, sometimes their tendencies, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and sometimes you're a little overprotective. I think the driver's move today would have been quarter pole, Trosa to the front, and I think he's a winner. Instead, I was playing trainer, and I left him in the 3-hole thinking he'd still get there. We would just do it in a much more conservative manner, and I was out-kicked. He was beat, a length, maybe less than a length, 52, 53, something like that. He raced good. HB Le Shadow, the only time he frustrated me after the race, I couldn't get him pulled up. I had to go around another lap and a half with him. Now, there's nothing more frustrating than having that happen, because you get in and obviously everybody's going to make fun of you. And I just sat there. I said, it's too cold. I'm not fighting with you. You can go around for 25 more minutes if you want to. He did. He went around another lap and a half. He was out there for an extra 7 minutes. And finally relented. He's a weird horse. He raced good. I mean, when it's that cold and you're dealing with 3 horses of equal ability, the first horse gets the jump on them. If he wants to win the race, it's very tough to beat him, right? You saw that with Time earlier. We'll talk about him in a second. HB Le Shadow paced straight to the wire. Those 2 horses beat him fair and square. Trosa paced to the wire. Those 2 horses beat him fair and square. I don't think I could have quarter poled HB Le Shadow at 8-1 with the 3-5 favorite on the front. That would have been suicide. He raced good, but I think Trosa, that was an error on my part. I think he was a winner today if I turn him loose in the quarter pole. Running in a little bit more than I'd like in the last turn also. His feet have to sting him a little bit. Big, heavy horse. He just wears full swedges up front. We'll leave him be for now. It's the same way he always is. You got to be careful. I said to Tim, maybe we'll put a Murphy on the inside, but a horse like him can run right away from the Murphy blind with an open bridle on, and you might see him on the left line, hogging the left line the whole way. So there's 2 ways you can attack. There's a number of ways you can attack it. Move him from a line pull to a head pull left, which I wouldn't do. I think he'll just lay on it. Put a Murphy blind with a big hole in it, so it's not quite as constrictive to his vision, and he won't go away from it quite as much. Or put a normal Murphy with or without a hole and put the line pull back on the outside also. I think I just want to put a Murphy with a bigger hole in the inside. I think I can keep him straight, and I think that'll be just a minor little adjustment to his headgear, and I think that Trosa will be just fine. He raced good. And now Time is on my side. That was a bionic trip, and quite frankly, with the track as hard as it was today, I didn't think he'd leave at all. He didn't put his nose in the gate. He didn't make me feel like he was going to get right out of there. And he's a weird horse. I never know. The difference between 27-3 and 26-4 is getting away on the front or getting away 5th or 6th, or maybe even get parked. And he never tips his hand right away. You can't force him. You can't bully him off the car. He won't let you. And if you watch the race leaving the gate, the outside horse had me beat out. The 8 horse. And I think once Time saw him go out of there, I think he pushed forward, because it felt to me like I was getting away okay. But after that 8-horse kind of got me headed coming off the cart, then he took off. Now, a lot went on in a very quick, short period of time, so it's hard for me to explain that to you. Had I started the glasses up, had they started when I thought they did leaving the car, you could have saw it. It's just so cold. So that if you see the glasses, there's a button you can push, right? So obviously there's a lot going on. You hear a little ding go off. But if you say, hey, Meta, start recording, you also hear it. And I thought I heard the glasses start up, and then as I'm going to the turn, I see an orange light come on, and obviously they're not started up. But there's nothing I can do at that point. I'm working on getting my way to the front. When I clear down to the front, then I took the time to say, hey, Meta, start recording. And they started recording. So that was the issue at the start of the race. He got off the car well. I knew once I could look, Aaron was going to dump Dave in the 2-hole. Dave wanted no part of the front in case he gets stuck there again this week. So he was not going to push forward. He was happy to relent today. And I knew once we got everybody situated, Ronnie would cut me loose. And he did. Once I landed on the front end, I had said it a couple of times in the video. And again, as we got around the last turn, I just felt that Ronnie's horse couldn't beat me. And if you look, I might have yelled at time and kind of shooed him along a little bit, but I never actually struck him with the whip the whole way down the lane. And it's hard to explain, but that was an ungodly mile today. 50-4. For those of you in Canada, it was minus 20 Celsius before the wind chill. Guaranteed. It was frigid all day long. Anyway, the horses raced good. A win in 2/3. I believe now in hindsight, should have been 2 wins and a third. Trosa will get them next week. We'll see how time races. And it goes back to last week. The trip we gave him last week, staying in, not moving him, having him finish at the wire. I think that went a long way to this week's race. And once he did get out of there, and he has not been leaving all fall into the winter, 27 flat was just not attainable. Once he decided today that he was going to go out of there, he was just, you get him to the front in the open company here, Miami Valley, really anywhere outside of the Grand Circuit company, he's going to give them all they want, at least for the foreseeable future. Can't be great forever, but he's very good right now. But you gotta be careful with him sometimes. When he doesn't want to leave, don't try and force him to, because he won't let you. So I've been happy with the way he raced his last 2. I joked about Sophia today with him, winning, with Billy taking care of him in the freezing cold. But they do a great job taking care of this horse. They know him very well, responds very well over here, and I was very, very happy with the way the entire day went. I looked forward to the weekend a few days ago. I'm like, wow, it looks like the Meadows, we're going to have a good day at the Meadows. Sunday looks very strong for us. And then they canceled. It's frustrating. But we entered 7 for Miami Valley. They draw tomorrow. I was torn on maybe putting Drebin in, but I just think Drebin fits the open right now at Northfield so well. I don't want to risk taking him to Miami Valley and catching some killers, and then now you can't come back Wednesday for Sunday, so you're missing 2 weeks at Northfield Park. So maybe we just give him the week. He's raced bang, 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 right straight through. So I think we just give him the 2 weeks. Maybe try and train him a slow mile. That's easier said than done. Train him a slow mile on Wednesday or so and get him prepped and ready to go for next weekend's open trot. We do have a lure and tally the tab entered for Wednesday. If a lure doesn't get in, we did give preference, I believe, to tally the tab. If they don't split it, either one of them might not get in. But if they don't split it, you might see one of those fillies end up at the Meadows on Thursday. We're finding that numbers of 4 get a little full right now at Northfield. We entered everybody. We entered 3, and only 2 got in for Wednesday. So that won't be a problem. Hopefully we get as many as we can in Wednesday at Miami Valley, and we'll head down there, see how we do down there. I think we got a couple of horses that fit the class as well. I thought Yo Mister raced great last week. Spitfire Overseas will re-enter him in the non-winners of 6,000, the non-winners of 9,000. Agent Black. Spitfire admittedly has not been great right now. I get it. You're right. I know it. It's not lost on me. See if we can get him back going in the right direction. Who else did we enter? We entered Yo Mister, Spitfire Overseas, Agent Black, Tally the Tab, Allure. Oh, Woodmere Betcha also. Now, as I told you this morning, for my partners in Woodmere Betcha, I'm just giving you a heads up. She is going to be short for next week. We couldn't train her this week with the impending blizzard, freezing cold temperatures, coming off, tying up. We just couldn't train her this week. She's jogged. Her AST will be down. Her blood work will be perfect for next Wednesday, but she will not be tight. So we're going to have to get what we can get with her. We entered one more horse. Must have been a trotter. Oh, Winter Soldier. We also entered Winter Soldier for Wednesday. So there's a chance, if we're lucky, all 7 get in. If not, and all the classes go, we might be able to get 5 in. And that 5 might turn into 3 if they don't let us in the non-winners of 4. If we don't get in the non-winners of 4, claim them. So we'll see how that plays out as we head into next week. The draw is tomorrow. I was looking all afternoon for the draw. A little premature. I'll say it right now, and it's been a long time coming. Not just in the U.S., because it doesn't really affect me here, but in Canada, even when I was a younger kid, I really think we need to put a rule in place that you can draw whenever you want, but scratch time needs to be at 10 a.m. 2 days before the race. For instance, if I wanted to go drive at Miami Valley, I would have to book off all my drives, potentially at the Meadows and at Northfield Park that I might have to go to Miami Valley, right? That's why I'm not listed Wednesday. Now, what happens if none of our horses get in? Now, Anthony, as a driver, if this was the case, I would have no drives at a track I drive when I drive at 3 tracks on that day. So I just think that there needs to be a little more seamlessness to the industry. There's no need not to have it that way. In the old days, you used to say, oh, well, we send the programs to print. Come on now. How many people print programs anymore? Get them online, no problem. And there's no printing shop with the tools they have in this day and age that 2 days before at 10:30 in the morning it's going to be a problem. And there's no lineups of people waiting for programs. So I don't think that's a realistic argument to make. Maybe there's somebody out there saying, well, this is the reason they can't do it. I would love to hear it. I just don't think that there's a reason that actually exists. Anyway, that was today in a nutshell. We had no training. None of the babies moved today. Only the racehorses jogged. It was bitter cold, I can tell you that. It was bitter cold everywhere. Probably bitter cold wherever you are. If one more person from Florida sends me a message with an update of the temperature, it's going to be problems. I can tell you right now. Larry. Oh, it's 80 degrees here. That's great. Minus 20 Celsius is what it was today. It's cold tonight. Hopefully we get our horses raced on Monday. We'll have qualifiers next week. I will say this. I was wrong yesterday. Harry was a little late updating me. There were schoolers for ACDC, Love, Sensation, and Leland Hanover. All 3 went well. We'll qualify them next week, and then we'll see what we have for those horses. I'm sure maybe ACDC, much like in New York, will start at Flamborough or London. Flamborough, I think, would be best. And if they're going to be full-time overnight half-mile horses for now, then they'll probably make their way over to Northfield at some point when we clean out our maidens and non-winners and 2s over the next month. So that's the plan for them. But we'll see. I'm going to make no predictions until I see the horses qualify. After they qualify, I'll talk to James, Harry, Dominic, everybody involved. We'll come up with we'll formulate a plan for where the horses will be entered, but they're all getting very, very close to qualifying. Eager to see Royal Flush Day go on Monday. I know both James and Dominic have been pretty bullish about how he's been training. His qualifier went good, and James is very optimistic about how his racing career, his sophomore racing, will start this year. So we'll see. Anyway, take care, everybody. Stay warm. It is freezing cold. Don't worry. The water all turned on. Lesson learned. It could have been much worse. I think the pipes in our house were on the cusp of starting to freeze a little bit. And thank God that we nipped it in the bud. All the water's working now. We'll leave it dripping a little bit all night. The bathroom's far enough away. If you're one of those people like me, you can't take the drip, 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 drip all night. It'd drive you crazy. Bathroom's far enough. I can't hear it. Anyway, take care, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. To all my partners, good luck. Wait, no one's racing. Good luck on them. Take care.